All right, welcome along to the Queenstown Ice Arena. My name is Bill. I'm told I have the face for radio and the voice for print. So we're going to get underway shortly. They're just doing their warm-ups. Wakatipu Wild versus the Auckland Steel. Last night, Auckland won 6-2. It's a pretty good showing for the first game of the season. Auckland definitely hungry for the puck. It's good to see. And each period you could see the Wild was getting slightly better and more coordinated, playing more as a team, crashing the net and being a bit more aggressive going for pucks. So good to see. Sets up a good game tonight. So we'll start off going through the starting lineups. So first for the Wakatipu Wild, we have number 5 forward, Kristen Wime. And she gives a big shout out to her nieces and nephew, Eleanor, Angus, and Lottie from Annie Kristen. And they're in Manchester, Quebec. So she got a goal for them last night. Let's see if she can do it again tonight. Then another forward, we have Caitlin Heel. And center, Kelly Nelson, number 22. Defense will be Caitlin Hollier, 32. And Gracie Helmrich, 92. In goal. And really kudos to Zadia Pulse. She is an Auckland goalie. Wakatipu didn't have a goalie for the weekend, so they kindly loaned her to the Wild and has made this weekend possible, at least to keep it respectable. Otherwise, one of the players would have had to suit up and get in goal. So shout out to the sponsors for the Wakatipu Wild: Sky City, Golden Homes, The Locker Room, Lil Flick Fireworks, Platinum Villas, Ototahi Tattoos, and Craig's Investments. Now, starting lineup for the Auckland Steel. And we have a few shout outs for that team too. So we have number 27, Skylar McDonald, 4 years playing. And a fun fact, she does Japanese longbow archery. Number 24, Liliana Reeves, 7 years playing. Lived in England for 12 years. Number 17, Alex Hefford, 15 years playing. And she loves pickles. She even has socks saying that I'm just a girl who loves pickles. Rachel Richmond, 12 years playing. Related to the Wright brothers that had the first flight. And the other on defense is Brooke, the Saskatchewan Slugger Patron, number 12, 24 years playing. She works at the Hamilton Zoo, and her favorite animal is the ringtail lemur. And in goal tonight for the Steel will be number 29, Alexa Gibson.
And then
So,
I will just be...
Brooke Patron got her nickname. She won her first boxing match last weekend. Apparently dominated, so it's great to hear. Alexa Gibson, 16 years playing, traveled to all 7 continents in 1 year. Now for some of their sponsors, for the Auckland Steel, gold sponsors, Tauri Holdings, Moorcroft Contractors, and NW Contractors, the gold sponsors. The bronze sponsors, Hyde Automotive, Pink Bins, Tukaha Group. Also a shout out to F45 and Newland Auckland for keeping us fit. Other shout outs we have to Mana and Steve Dobbs, who are in Hawaii, hopefully watching this again. Their granddaughter Mana. The Keiths in Auckland watching My, number 8. To Jamie's favorite Annie watching in Owaka. Hi to the Higgins. We have about a minute and a half left in the warm-ups. And tonight, once again, there's a lot of competitions around the country. So the referee, Kyle, is still sick. So there will only be 2 officials on the ice tonight. It'll be Aaron Chisholm and Adam Nagy. A little bit of a different game when you only have 2 officials. They have to split the ice more. It's more like social hockey. And a lot of times things get missed. They're just not in a position to get them. So you just have to have a bit more tolerance in these games. And of course, we're looking forward to, after this weekend, many of these players who are playing for the New Zealand Ferns, the Ice Ferns, which is the national team. The World Championships are down at the Dunedin Ice Stadium. So they'll be leaving from here, going directly there. They'll have a week of training camp. And then they'll go into the following week, starting on the 14th. It's the World Championships in Dunedin. So the world is coming to New Zealand. And we're looking forward to that. Should be great competition tonight. Also that week will be wonderful. Shout out to the Australian and Belgium and Hong Kong and Ukraine teams that will be watching. So now we have Jamie Jones, the captain of the Steel, and Kelly Nelson, the captain of the Wild, meeting the officials center ice. Two teams salute each other, and now let's get ready. For those in New Zealand that are hockey fans and around the world, keep in mind that Sunday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time in the United States, Washington will be playing and Ovechkin will be going. He has tied Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record in this, and if he breaks it on Sunday, which is our Monday morning, he'll have done it in the exact same number of games. So fascinating, great piece of history. It'll be worth waking up early to watch. So it'll be Kelly Nelson taking it for the Wild, and it'll be Rachel Richmond for the Steel. Referee Adam Nagy will be dropping the puck. And we're just about to get underway. Wakatipu wins it. Patron skates it in, broken up. Nelson has it her own blue line, feeds it out. Heel has it. She's going to take it into the zone. Broken up nicely, but then gotten in. We may overskated. This will be icing. So a bit more intensity to start the game than started yesterday, which is great to see. And the Wild will have a face-off deep in the Steel zone. Patron hits it up. Steel would want it, but it comes back to the point. Cross-ice pass to Holly, or top of the slot. Quick shot, deflected wide. Mills has it down in the corner. Patron putting heat. She steals it from her. Pushes it back out, back to Heel. Heel gets a shot from the point, and it's gloved by Gibson. We'll have another face-off. So 2 quick line changes here by the Wild. Very interesting in 40 seconds. Nelson wins it. Right to heel at the top of the slot. Shot gets knocked down, pushed up the sideline, kept in by Helmrich. Helmrich up to Wime. Wime quick shot. Goes wide. Heel unable to control it in front. Now they'll skate it out. Backhand pass up the side. Heel's going to chase it down, take it behind her net. She is in pursuit. Hannah Shields was on her, putting pressure. She wraps it up the boards. And it's forward. This will be an icing against the Wild. Just a little too far for Nelson. And now the Steel will get a face-off back in the Wakatipu zone. Hannah Shields will be taken against Kelly Nelson. Comes away, top of the circle, quick shot, goes out of play. Stick save by Paulson. So with the icing, Wakatipu wasn't able to get a shift change. Now they take advantage, get a change. Auckland wins the face-off. Adam Naga gives a warning to one of the players for moving too quickly prior to the drop of the puck. So Steel win it, comes back to the point. I think that's Richmond. She's rubbed off it by Weeks, and it's pushed up the side by Hollier. Hollier pushes it into the zone, has it behind the net, tries a centering backhand, no much. Good pressure there by Lewis. Lewis doing a good job. Hollier comes away, pushes it, but Gibson's able to cover up with the glove, and we get a face-off. So Auckland wins the face-off, top of the circle. And that was Keith giving it backhand. Heel now gathers in her own zone. She's going to skate out. Tries a forward pass up to Clark. Hits off her skate, off her thing. Havecki digs it out. Pushed out. Helmrich tried to keep it in, unable to. Now it's pushed into the zone. Cross-ice pass to Jones. Pressure there by Chan. Good hustle. Jones is going to skate it out. Down the right side. Quick shot from the blue line, gathered up by the glove by Paulsa, pushes it out to the side. Helmrich has it in the corner. Now behind the net, gets pulled out by Jones. No, that's... And now it's skated out by the Wild. Forward pass up to Chan. Jones breaks it up, then it's wrapped around the boys. We may have it down in the corner, and it's pushed back up to the point and into neutral ice. Will be gathered up by Helmrich. With good pressure on by Richmond, she has to circle back in her own zone and then start out again. Cross center ice, she's going to bring it into the zone. That's Hollier. Cross ice pass, beautiful heel. Heel was crashing to the net, but unable to get a stick on it. And now she has it. Patron putting pressure. Centering pass to Nelson. Quick shot. Good save by Gibson underneath the pad. Very close. It's good to see pressure being put on today. So Nelson wins the faceoff. Back to Hollier. Cross ice is deflected. Patron gets it. She's going to ice it, but Richmond will get to it first. Overskated. It's behind the net. They're battling for it. Lost stick. We're going to get a penalty here. I'm not sure who. It's a 2-minute penalty to Rachel Richmond for interference. So with 16:28 in the first period, we're tied at 0, but Wakatipu Wild will get a power play. Auckland wins the face-off, and it's knocked down. Helmrich keeps it in. Back up to Nelson in the corner around to Wime. Centering pass through the slot, but broken up nicely by Gregory, and it's pushed down the ice. She's hustling Helmrich, putting pressure on her, has to wrap it around the wheel. Up to Wime, overskated, but good recovery by Gregory. Good hustle. Now, once again, Gregory intercepts the pass. She's going to get an opportunity here. They're short-handed. Now Hill skated out, pushes it up to her sister, pushes it into the zone, but broken up nicely. And pushed all the way back behind the net of Wakatipu. It'll come out now. Pass was too hard. Jones will gather in her own zone. Cross-ice pass all the way down. With just over a minute left in the power play. Wakatipu only had the initial burst to get in there. Now hopefully they'll get it set up. And it's pushed again to Mills. Mills is going to take it into the zone. Taking it wide left. Jones putting pressure on her. She's going to skate it down into the corner. Turn around back to the point. Cross-ice pass. Across. Missed. Wow. Beautiful opportunity there. It was just lying right in the crease there, and Gibson was able to jump back on it and cover it up after it was missed. So there's 37 seconds left in the power play. Wakatipu wins the face-off. Backhand by Mills. Hits the side of the net. Going to battle with Havecki in it. Jones has it. She's going to throw it down the ice. Hollier will gather it up behind her own net. And they'll start out. Pushed up to Weeks. Weeks pushed it up to Nelson. Has Wime crossing in the center. And then I believe it was Thorne that pushed it down the ice. And that'll just about do it for the power play. Out in a second. And we're back to full strength. Potter just brought it out of the zone. Now Hill has it. Helmrich's going to chase. Good hustle by Auckland. Very hungry for the puck. Now Wime has it up to Nelson. Nelson will take it down the left side. Pushes it around. Patron now has it. She's going to push it up the boards. And this should be icing. But now Shields is going to get to it first from the steal. Good hustle by Hannah. Brings it around the net. Centering pass backhand. Nothing there. Gathers it again. Up at the point, pushes it back in to the circle, and now it's pushed out into neutral ice. Nelson will skate it out. She'll dump it in, and Wakatipu will do a line change. Patron has it in her own end. She'll start to skate it out. Good pressure there. Got it to Clark. Dumped it back in the zone. Now Patron has it again. Pushes it across. This should be icing. Oh, they waved it off because the goalie made a move toward it. And now Heel has it, skating out of her own zone. Cross-ice pass. No one. Jones gathers in her own zone, pushes it down. This should also be a icing. A little bit sloppy play, but it's a good intensity. So Kemp will be taking the face-off for the Wild. And I think it's Keefe for the steal. So Hollier has it, pushes it back, and gets past Weeks. Now Hollier pushed up to Kemp by Thurston. And now Jones has it in her own zone. She's going to backhand it. Steele will take advantage and do a line change. And now Hollier comes out with speed. Mills crosses center ice into the zone, dumps it to the left side. It's going to go behind the net. Patron has it. She's going to push it back into neutral ice. Hollier will gather it up. pushes it forward to Mills. Mills backhands it in. Patron intercepts it. She's going to get an opportunity here. She can take advantage of the Wakatipu's line change. Now McDonald gives it up to Hefford. Hefford's going to get a shot from top of the circle that went high. Now Patron has it down side of the circle, takes it behind the net. Looking for help. It's going to put a cross ice to Hefford. Beautiful pass. And a nice shot. Here we go. Reeves going to get a shot. Heel did a nice job with a stick check to prevent that shot. And now it's pushed into neutral ice. Cross ice to Heel, but Patron gathers in her own zone and pushes it into neutral ice. And now Reeves sets up Richmond. Good shoulder and waffle save by Paulsa. Shot goes wide by Gregory, and now it's in the corner. Big hit in the corner, nothing in it. And it comes up the side and unable to be kept in. Lewis has it, cross ice pass. And Nelson's going to get in her own zone, gets it to the line. Heel's able to push it out into neutral ice. Still regather, Lewis has it, pushes it in. This should be icing. And we get a stoppage of play. 11:09 left in the first period. We're still tied at 0. Once again, get a warning. Looks like against Auckland. They have to watch. A second one would be a delay of game penalty, so you don't want to fool around too much. So Wakatipu will gather at side of the circle. Clark pushes it behind the net to Davis, and that's pushed up the side. Oh, could have been kept in there, but wasn't. And now cross ice pass to Heel. Back to Thurston. And then Mills takes it into the zone. Gina Davis gets a quick shot high. Glove saved by Gibson. So both teams do a line change with 10:31 left in the first period. So Wakatipu wins the face-off. Mills has it in the corner, unable to keep it. Havecki backhands it around to Weeks. He pushes it behind the net, gathered up by Jones, I believe. And now an outlet pass, unable to get out of the zone. Kemp keeps it in. Very broken play, and now Jones takes it. She's going to skate it up. She has 3-on-2 here if she could take advantage. Shot goes wide as they fall in front of the net. The puck's underneath one of the players. So Tunnicliffe will take the face-off against Nelson. And Wime comes away with it. Good job by Havecki to break that up. And then dumps it into the zone. That was offsides. And now it's pushed up the side to Heel. Nelson and Wime have a collision, and Patron comes away with the puck, gathers back in her own zone, broken up nicely. Nelson takes it. It's down in the front. Turnaround shot by Heel. Good save by Gibson. And then Hefford brings it out. Pushes it up to Hollier. Hollier circles back into her own zone. Good stick checking there by Richmond. Now Patron has it. Neutral ice. Now Hefford. Oh, nice pass. Just too hard. This should be icing. Not sure why that was waved off, but it was. So play continues. Nelson now has it in her own zone. Goes behind her net, wraps it round the wheel, up the side, too far. McDonald's going to chase it down in her own zone. She's got Patron cross ice pass. And then another beautiful cross ice pass into the front. Richmond went in behind the puck, or behind the play. And now Thurston doing a good job keeping pressure on. Patron does a good job getting into neutral ice. They collide with Thorne. Gina Davis goes in. She clears it out. She's got a pass. The shot went wide to Chan. Chan has it. Side pass, push behind the net, and Patron comes out with it. She tries to get it back. And it's pushed into center ice. Hollier gathers. She's going to take it down the left side. Richmond tries to get it. Mills is there to scoop it up. Pushes it behind the net. It's going to get pushed up the side. Good outlet pass there. Shields now has it, but a good stick check by Heel to break that up. Thorne now fighting with it and pushes it back to Lewis. Lewis pushes it up the side. Now Weeks has it. Pushes it back to Heel. Heel pushes it up the side again. And now Gregory will take it into the zone for the steal. Down the right-hand side, pushes it forward to Shields down in the corner, cross ice. Had Gregory breaking. It was good give and go there. And it finally comes the opposite side of the net, where Paulsa is able to get a glove over it and get a stoppage of play. So 7:37 left in the first period. We're still tied. So Steele win the face-off. Good job by Havecki to keep that in the zone. Davison there at the top of the circle. Shot goes wide, comes right out in front. Wow, Tunnicliffe had a beautiful opportunity there. Kind of surprised her and the goalie, but Paulsa is able to stop it. Wakatipu wins the face-off, pushes up the side. Havecki keeps it in, pushes it back down. Helmrich's going to wind it around the wheel. He will get there first, and she'll push it into neutral ice to Nelson. Nelson's going to push it into the zone. Weemay's crashing toward the net, and Gibson will tie it up for a stoppage of play. 7:06 left in the first period, tied at 0. And Wakatipu's going to have a face-off deep in the Auckland zone. Nelson versus Richmond for the face-off. Nelson wins it. Top of the circle, quick shot goes wide. Patron will get it in the corner. We're going to get a penalty here. We're going to get tripping, I believe, against Weemay, number 5 for the Wild. Yep. So Steele will get an opportunity here for a power play with 6:51 in the first period. Shield wins it. Back to Jones at the point. Top of the slot. She's going to get a shot. A lot of Auckland players there. There's a big pile up in front of the net. The puck's loose. And Paulsa finally is able to cover it up. Let's see if the Wild can hold together here. Beautiful play there. Shields won the face-off right back to Patron in the slot. She had a beautiful shot. Now Hefford has it down in the corner. Back to Shields, top of the circle. Cross-ice pass to Patron. Patron's top of the circle, now to top of the slot. Pushes it down to Shields next to the circle. Shields going to get a quick shot. Deflected in front and went wide. Now Heel has it. She wraps it up the boards. Jones will go in there and beat it. The Wakatipu players seem to be sitting back, waiting for the puck. Needs to go right at it. Back to Patron at the slot. Pushes it across to Shields, top of the circle. Cross ice to Jones, the other circle. Quick shot down low, gets knocked wide. And they're battling for it behind the net. Just under a minute left in the power play to the steal. Kemp's going to get it. Not going to be able to get it out. Patron's going to get it top of the slot. Quick shot. Hits the goalie in the masks. Pushed out wide. Patron's going to get another shot. Back to Jones, top of the circle. Quick shot. Too high. Wraps around the board. Patron keeps it in at the other point. Now skating toward the center of the ice, top of the slot, quick shot, wide, off the waffle. And went up. Now Mills tries to push it into neutral ice, still can't get it out. And if kept in, oh, nicely by Shields, but now it's pushed into neutral ice. Wakatipu's going to get a break. And now Patron's circling around, waiting for the line change to come in so she gets some support. Good stick check there by Heel. Nelson now has it. She's going to, unable to clear it out of the zone. Dangerous play. And now Tunnicliffe has it, centering pass to Nelson. Penalty's over. Heel has it. She gets sandwiched between two players. Weemay's down, pushed it around the boards. Richmond will gather behind the net, push it up the sides there to Tunnicliffe. Tunnicliffe unable to clear it. Nelson does a good job keeping it in. Push it behind to Weemay, behind the net. She tries a centering pass, knocked down by Richmond. And still unable to clear it by Steele. Heel has it. Centering pass, beautiful backhand by Weemay. Now to Nelson, top of the circle, quick shot, knocked down by Gregory. Shot from the side by Heel and knocked down. Richmond trying to clear it. 26 keeps it in. And now Helmrich will gather in her own zone with good pursuit by Gregory. Up to Mills up the sideline. Broken up nicely by Gregory. And now Richmond's going to get a shot that goes wide. Try and keep it in. Yep, they will. Lewis has it in her own zone. Deflected off of Richmond. Mills, now Helmrich. She'll push it into the zone. Shields now has it. She's going to skate it behind her own net. She's going to take a look, have a stop, pushes it to center ice to Hefford. Broken up by Kemp nicely. Now Weeks takes it into the zone. And Shields will gather, again, starting behind her own net. Good pressure by Weeks. Now Jones has it. Jones backhands across ice up to Thorne. And now there's Hollier. She'll start at her own blue line, pushes it forward, broken up nicely by Hefford with a stick. And now Shields gathers again, takes it into her own zone. Cross ice pass to Lewis. Lewis up to Thorne. Thorne to Hefford. Hefford's going to get a shot here. Goal! Hefford came down, got a shot from the left circle, and picked the right-hand top shelf. So with 2:46 left in the first period, Alex Hefford gets the goal. A little bit sloppy play there by the Wild. Very broken play, not settling down. And Auckland was able to take advantage of it with a beautiful top shelf shot. Now Wakatipu, see if they can answer. Heel brings it into the zone. She's there with Havecki centering pass, nobody there. Now it's kept in nicely by Heel. Heel skates it down the left side. Big collision down the side. Weemay has it side of the net. Tries to shoot it high, pushed across zone. Kept in by Thurston, and now pushed back to neutral ice, then into their own zone. So Heel has it up to Thurston. Thurston dumps it into the zone, be picked up by Patron behind her own net. Nelson's putting pressure, backhand. Heel breaks that up nicely. Auckland take it back into their zone. And Richmond will start from behind her own net. Nelson's there in front of the net. Weeks on the other side. Patron pushes it up the side and into neutral ice. Hit in the air, knocked down. Weeks has it. Patron pushes it into neutral ice and into the Wakatipu zone. And back to Patron. Patron has to wait for her players to clear. Now takes it into the zone clean. Weeks is there. She's coming down, quick shot from the bottom of the circle. She gets her own rebound on the opposite side of the rink, dumps it behind the net to Richmond. Richmond has it behind the net. Backhand centering pass out to McDonald now from the point. Shot gets knocked down. Heel has it. She's going to dump it. And that'll go on goal. They've waved off the icing. Now Patron will start in her own zone. Pushes it up the side, broken up by Kemp. Shield pushes through and has it. Skates around Hollier. Big collision there. And now Thorne's going to get a quick shot. It's pushed out, kept in nicely there by Gregory. Gregory, little Energizer bunny out there tonight. She's doing a great job. Now she takes it back into the zone. Weak shot on Paulsa. It gets knocked wide. Hollier has it behind her net. Tries to work the wheel. Broken up by Gregory. Back to Shields. Shields has it. Side of the circle. Centering pass back to Gregory, but unable to get a handle on it. Wakatipu pushes it up to Wime. Wime unable to clear. Gregory, or Thorne, pushes it into the net. Toward the net. Oh, good hustle there. And Paulsa does a great job to get on top of that. With 11 seconds left in the first period, Auckland Steel leading 1-0. See if Auckland back to Lewis. Lewis pushes it behind the net. Richmond keeps it going around the wheel. Looks like Hefford and Heel are fighting for it in the corner, and that'll do it for the first period. Wow, so interesting first period. Much better play out of both teams, more intensity. Just a bit of broken, discombobulated play by the Wild for certain periods of it. Just their play broke down a little bit, and Auckland was able to get on top of it. And a beautiful goal by Alex Hefford going for the top shelf. So they're going to go to the dressing rooms. They're going to groom the ice, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. All right, welcome back to Queenstown Ice Arena. Getting ready to start the second period of Auckland Steel versus Wakatipu Wild. Been some information come in now about games in the different leagues across the country. So Sky City Stampede have beaten the Swarm up in, Canterbury. 6-4. They got it was 5-4, got an open goal net. So Stampede beats Canterbury. And then the Dunedin Thunder beat Botany Swarm. Haven't gotten a score there, but also in the Women's League, Canterbury has beaten Dunedin Lady Thunder 8-2. So we're about to get the puck drop here. We have a shout out to Nash Hayward Jones, who's hosting some friends at his house, and his mom says, "Nash, stay out of my alcohol stash." So play starts, and Wakatipu's on top of it right away. Now Hefford's going to push it into neutral ice. Intercepted by Heel, who dumps it back in the zone. Patron will chase it down behind her own net. Wimay was in pursuit, up to too far for Hefford, but back to Patron. Nelson intercepts it. She's going to skate it out from her own zone. Gets hooked. Looks like we're going to get a penalty here. Yeah, the girls weren't paying attention there. They didn't pull the goalie. And they just dumped the puck for a line change. Could have taken advantage of a 6-on-5. We're going to get a penalty against Richmond. 2 minutes for hooking at 19:17 of the first period. So Wakatipu Wild's going to be given a great opportunity here. So they win the face-off. Back to Hollier, top of the slot, pushes it too far forward, but Kemp gets it, hits the official with it, and now Mills has it behind, down in the corner, works it around the wheel to Weeks, I believe, centering pass. Hope gets it, Gregory gets it, pushes it down, and Heel chases it down, starts out. Shields putting pressure on, unable to control the pass to Mills. Now Richmond's going to push it into the end, and he'll start out again with Shields putting pressure, pushes it a backhand up the right-hand side, up to Weeks. Weeks centering pass too far. Lewis chases it in her own end. She's going to dump it. Now Gregory gets it, and she's able to push it all the way down the ice. Auckland will take advantage, do a partial line change of the D, and they push it up the side. Now Heel will have it. She pushes it out to Wimay at center ice. She takes it in, has Nelson to her left, pushes it through Lewis. And let's see if they can get set up here in the power play. Heel now has it down in the corner. Good pressure by Jones there. You wouldn't believe it's a power play at this point. Now it is. Back to Hollier, top of the slot, cross-ice pass to Heel. Heel rebound. Heel has a beautiful shot, but gets blocked and knocked wide. Heel has it side of the net, now behind the net. Tries a centering pass, can't get it. Heel pushes it back to Heel, From the circle, shot goes high. It'll be gathered up by Hollier at the left-hand circle, pushes it down into the corner to Wimay. Wimay looking, has Nelson behind the net. She'll pass it to her. Cross-ice pass. Shields got a stick on it, but wasn't able to get it. Hollier cross-ice to Heel. Heel's going to get one top of the circle. No, passes across to Wimay. Tries a one-timer, goes wide. Nelson gathers it down in the corner. Penalty is over. It's even play, so Richmond's out. Nelson gets a shot. We're going to get a side shot. And Gibson does a good job of covering the net and then covering up for the stoppage. So it was good play there, but a great job of defense actually by the penalty kill team of Auckland, not really letting them get their house set up to take advantage of the power play. So Wakatipu wins it, pushes it out. Now Patron's going to skate it out of her own zone into neutral ice down the left side. Goes in, has Kemp and Helmrich on her. behind the net, comes out. Helmrich gathers, but can't clear it. Patron has it back. She pushes it back to the point, and it's knocked down by Hefford. Now Mills, I believe, is taking it down the right side. Has Weeks crashing the net. Shot goes wide. Weeks has it opposite side. Backhand pass, nobody there to support. And now Hefford pushes it out to Patron, who's going to dump it, and Auckland will take advantage and change their D. Hefford now has it, centering pass to Richmond right out in front. Keefe's going to get a shot away, goes across the ice, and Mills is going to now skate it in the opposite direction. She's going to get a shot. Blocked by the pad, kicked wide, kept in nicely there. Mills does a good job keeping it in, but now Hefford has it. She's going to work it around the wheel, and nobody's back on the point as Wakatipu was doing a defensive line change. So Heel will start out from her own zone, has Davis up the right-hand side, up to Chen. Chen cross-ice pass off the boards. Back to Davis behind the net, but it's pushed into the circle. Davis doing a good job fighting for it there. Comes away with it. And good stick check breaks it up. Now Thorne has it there. We're going to get a tripping penalty. It's going to be against Lawrence, I believe, taking out Shields. Auckland taking advantage of it, pulling their goalie. And Wakatipu will now get control, and we'll get a stoppage of play. Steele will be getting a, I believe it'll be 2 minutes for tripping. We'll see what the official Adam Nagy says. Two minutes tripping against Isla Lawrence. So Wakatipu wins the face-off. Nelson tries to push it up the side, but kept in nicely by Richmond. Richmond top of the circle. Back to Richmond, Richmond to Richmond. Who has it side of the circle. Pushes it back to Richmond, top of the slot. She's going to get a shot down low, knocked off. Now it's battle for it in the corner. Hollier and Havecki going for it. Hollier comes away, gets it to Nelson, the opposite side. She pushes it down. Caitlin Heal's going to have a crack at it, but the goalie comes out. Gibson comes out, pushes it back. Helmrich now pushes it into the other zone. Auckland gathers. Richmond goes to Gregory, too far. Nelson does a good job to pick it up. Now Mills is going to be in there. She'll dump it into the zone. Gibson gets it behind her net, sets it up for Havecki. Mills putting pressure on, and they push it out. Now Shields brings it from neutral ice back into her zone. Backhand pass, Havecki fighting against Mills, and Richmond comes away with it across to Jones. Jones has Gregory to her left, takes it into the zone, side of the circle, circles back, cross ice pass to Patron at the top of the slot. Beautiful shot, knocked down. Hefford did a good job to try and get the rebound there. Looks like she hurt her wrist or something, but she wasn't able to get much on it, but it was a good opportunity there. So there's 35 seconds left on the power play to the Steele with 13:47 left in the second period. Steele is still winning 1-0. Auckland wins it back to Jones at the top of the slot. She takes it over to the left point. Now back to Patron on the right point, top of the circle. Waiting. She's got drops it off to Jones. Jones pushes it down side of the circle. Back to Jones at the point. Quick pass inside, open. Beautiful opportunity. Shields was unable to pull the trigger on it, and Paulsa did a great job to stop those couple shots that went in very quickly. Shields has a side of net, back to Patron, top of the slot. Beautiful shot, gets knocked down. And now Nelson is going to get an opportunity here against Patron, get a quick shot. Beautiful glove save by Gibson. Nelson had the wide right. The right side of the net was wide open. Gibson had the good angle on it, and beautiful, just snatched it out of the air. Cat-like reflex on that glove. So they're back to full strength. 13:03 left in the second. Nelson wins the face-off. Again, the official keeps giving warnings. Players starting too quick. Nelson wins back to Hollier. Cross ice to Potter, but unable to hold on to it. Now pushed out to Keefe. And now Heel will gather in her own zone. Pushes it behind the net to Hollier. With Tunnicliffe putting pressure on. Hollier circles back, then Keefe putting pressure on. She pushes it up the side to Wee-May. Wee-May back to Hollier, but a weak pass came across. Now Heel has it. She's going to skate it around, and she'll take it into the zone down the left side, coming forward. Backhand pass right into the pad, and Gibson's able to smother it. Auckland wins the face-off. I think that was Havecki pushed it around behind the... Pushed into neutral ice now. And Mills is able to get around Reeves with it, dumps it into the zone. Gibson stops it, but Wakatipu able to get to it. Now push it backwards. And Richmond in the corner. Very physical play there, but clean collision. Neither player was giving up space on that one. And Wakatipu gathers in their own zone. Push it up into neutral ice to nobody. Havecki has it, back pass to Jones. Jones has it in neutral ice, pushes it up the side. Helmrich unable to clear the zone with it. Steele doing a nice job of keeping it in. And now Shields putting good pressure on Helmrich. Pushes it around the ice. Won't be far enough for icing, and McDonald will chase it down in her own zone. Pushed it into neutral ice to Shields. Shields brings it back into her own zone. Now it's going to skate it up. Has a head of speed. Takes it into the zone. Is going to get a quick shot. Helmrich blocked it with her leg. It went wide. Shields got her own rebound. Now pushes it back behind the net. No. Around the circle. And it's knocked down. McDonald tried a shot, but it hit the skate in front of her. Now Patron's going to gather in the right side. She takes it behind the net. Backwards pass. Good turnaround pass. Shields top of the circle. Paulsa gets a glove on it. Knocks it down. Gregory has it in the corner. She got pressure put on her. Takes it behind the net. Helmrich putting pressure back to Shields' side of the circle. Pushes it back up to Gregory at the point. Gregory's going to get a shot here. Good stick check by Gina Davis, knocks it away. And it's left out in front, and now kept in by McDonald. And now Davis is able to get it in neutral ice. Patron gathers, takes it in her own zone. Cross ice goes to Shields, now to Gregory, too far. Hollier gathers it in her own zone. It's going to come out with a head of steam. Has a couple players on the opposite side, takes it down the left side. It's going to go behind the net with it. Goes across ice, back to the point to Heel. Heel pushes it back to Hollier in the corner. And it goes behind the net to Wee-May. And Nelson comes away with it back to the point to Heel. Heel's going to get a shot. And it's pulled out of the air by Gibson for a stoppage of play with 9:33 left in the second period. Auckland Steel leading 1-0. Yeah, the official once again warning the players. I think they're starting too early. They're moving before the puck drops. So Wakatipu wins the face-off. Back to Nelson, top of the circle. Quick shot down low. Another quick shot. Goes wide. And now Auckland tries to clear it. They can't. Nelson has it back in the corner. Does a good job to get around the players. Collision of Wakatipu players, and Nelson has it in center ice. Tunnicliffe is going to keep pressure on. Cross-ice pass. Backhand pass to no one, and now it's pushed into the steel zone. Icing's waved off. And intercepted by Heel. But now Tunnicliffe has it. Now Richmond is going to take it behind her own net. Wraps it up the boards. Lawrence keeps it in, goes down the side. It's going to be a quick shot here. Goes wide. I believe that was Heel. Back to the other Heel in the slot. Bounces around, and the puck's sitting there with half a net open, just unable to get any timber on it to get it into the goal. Cross ice pass across the crease, nothing there. Dumped in, knocked back. Weeks has it down in the corner, takes it behind the net. Lewis puts pressure on with a stick check. And centering pass, Heel's going to get a good shot, but doesn't get much timber on it. And now we're going to get an opportunity the other side. Good play there. Oh, big collision there. Now it's knocked out of the zone. Jones is going to take it back into her own zone to give her teammate time. They got knocked down to clear the area. Hope she's not injured. Beautiful pass up top. Has Haverford there. Oh, she fans on the shot. Beautiful opportunity. Very physical play now in the game. And centering pass. Wakatipu's able to get it out. It won't have the legs to be an icing. Weeks is going to pursue it. Havecki gathers it. She takes it behind her own net. Wakatipu does a line change. Jones now has it behind her own net. Turn around, works it up the wheel to Richmond. Richmond pushes it up to Hefford. Hefford pushes it into the zone. Mills push it back into neutral ice. Passes to no one, but I believe that's Havecki with it. And now collision with Jones and Chan. And now this should be icing. So we also have a shout out here to Emma Thorne's mom. Emma Thorne, number 22. She says Jamie Jones is her favorite NZWIHL player, but the shout out is to her mom. We're told she'll be watching the game, enjoying a nice cold Corona. So quick shot from the point. Now Wime down next to the net, tries it centering, knocked down, back to the point to Hollier. Hollier top of the circle, right into the leg of Richmond. Now this should be icing. Now the goalie, Paulson, hits it with her stick. Auckland is able to take advantage and do a full line change. And Wakatipu was a bit slow bringing it out of the zone there, couldn't take advantage of it. So we're going to get a stoppage of play. Too many players on the ice, I believe. Yep, McDonald was trying to clear the ice. And 6 players on the ice, or well, 7 with the goalie. So with 6:22 left in the second period, McDonald's in the box for 2 minutes for too many players on the ice. Wakatipu have a power play. The captains were having a word with the official, Adam Nagy. Not sure what it was about. So now we're going to have Shields versus Wime on the face-off. Shields win the face-off, back to Patron, pushes it up the side. Heel unable to keep it in. Now dumps it backwards to Patron, and she's able to shoot. Actually gets a good shot on goal from her own zone. Now Heel will start behind her own Oh, it goes to nobody. Doesn't connect with Nelson. Shields has it back to Jones. They're just going to stall time. Cross ice, broken up, but now Shields going to get an opportunity here. Going to get a breakaway. Oh, shot goes wide. But still putting pressure on. Now they knock it out, but Wakatipu playing defensive play for a power play, so they need to get settled. Nelson does a good job. Now Gregory backhand to Patron. Patron's going to skate it up. Has Shields to her right. And just delayed it right at the blue line and drew Shields off sides. So both teams will do a line change. Just over a minute left in the power play of the Wakatipu Wild. Wakatipu wins the face-off. Harley will start with it from behind her own net. Outlet pass, deflected and dumped back in by Richmond. And Harley will start again from behind. Pass again behind the player. Now Hefford has it. She's going to stop. There's a collision there. Wow, they're going to call that tripping against Hollier. 2 minutes for tripping, so 34 seconds left on the Steel power play penalty, and so they'll get a minute 26 power play after they clear. They'll play 4 aside until then. So Shields wins the face-off, but pushes it all the way back into her own zone. Heel and Patron, but Gibson will actually smother it. With 4:46 left in the second period, Steel still ahead, 1-0. So Jones gathers the face-off and overskates it. Wimay almost gets it, but Jones gets it back, pushes it up the side. Heel does a good job to get it. And now her sister has it, does a good job, dumps it into the zone. Quick shot goes wide. Wimay will have it down in the corner. Big hit by Richmond. And now Patron will start out center ice. Outlet pass to Shields. Shields to Gregory. And Nelson will get to it first. Takes it behind her net. Back to Helmrich. Helmrich cross ice pass to Heel. Heel up to Nelson. And Nelson dumps it into the zone. Mills is going to chase it in, but it gets stopped by Gibson. And now pushed up to Gregory up the side. And now Nelson has it. She'll push it forward. Delayed offsides. Now it's cleared. And now Auckland has the power play, but there we go. Good pass, broken up nicely. Mills has it. Backwards pass, but on net. Gibson will cover it up with 40 seconds left on the power play to the Auckland Steel. Face-off will be deep in the Steel zone. 3:36 left in the second period. Auckland wins the face-off. Richmond has it. Now Jones has it behind her own net. Stops, takes a look up to Shields, pushes it forward. Weeks will chase it down in her own end with Gregory in hot pursuit. Back to Shields in neutral. Cross-ice pass to Richmond, up to Gregory. And then Richmond takes it down the left side, round circle. Centering pass to Shields, takes it opposite side, now down by the red line. Back to top of the circle to Richmond, cross ice to Richmond on the other circle. She brings it back to the top of the slot. She's going to push it to Shields, top of the circle. She's going to have a shot with a rebound. Nah, it was a good, tried to give a tap to Gregory. who pushed it right across the goal crease. And now we get a stoppage of play. 2:50 left in the second period, back to full strength. Wakatipu wins the face-off. Hollier will take it behind her own net with Keith in pursuit. And that gets pushed to McDonald, taken off nicely by Heel. Heel will take it down the right side around Davidson to the top of circle in the slot. Backhand shot that's knocked out easily by Davis and then unable to be kept in by Hollier. Pushes a cross-ice pass and Patron will get it and push it down ice. Won't have the legs for icing. So Potter gets it in her own end, but Tunnicliffe's able to take it off. Weeks now pushes it into the neutral zone. It'll be gathered up by McDonald. Cross-ice pass to Patron. Not able to get much on it, but Hollier now will push it forward to Nelson. But she'll let it go as they do a line change. See if Auckland can take advantage of the line change. No, it passes too far, and Kemp will gather in her own zone. She pushes it into neutral ice to Thurston. Gets taken off of her by Richmond. And now Thurston pushes it into the zone. Now Patron has it in front of her own net. Good pass up to Richmond. Then tipped in by Reeves. And now Helmrich has it behind her own net. She'll start out from there. And nobody's breaking for Wakatipu to give her an outlet. So he pushes it. Now Chan's going to do a good job getting down the ice. Has it in the corner. Works it around the wheel. Patron has it back to Keith. And Keith does a good job to get it out. Now Davis dumps it into the zone. Be gathered up by Havecki. Behind the goal line. Pushes it backwards to Patron. Hits Keith. She deflects it. It shouldn't be. They're going to call icing on that. So it was a pass. Keith just wasn't able to keep control of it, but it continued down the other end, so we'll get a stoppage of play. With 53 seconds left in the second period, Auckland Steel still leading 1-0. So with the icing, you can't do a line change, so the official just making sure they didn't change out any players. Bit cheeky on Auckland's part. Wakatipu wins the face-off. Heel's able to keep it in. And now Nelson has it. Turnaround shot, deflected in front. Rebound goes there. Nobody's there. And now Wime has it down in the corner. Good pressure on her. Patron's able to come in. She gets it. And Hollier comes back into neutral, so is unable to keep it in the zone. And now cross-ice pass to Nelson. Nelson takes it across the red line. She's going to get a shot that gets deflected wide. Gets her own rebound. Good cross-ice pass to Hollier in the circle, but unable to control it. Patron intercepts. And now she'll push it out from her own zone to Richmond. Richmond skating cross ice to Shields. Shields tries to split the defenders. And Nelson comes away with it just in front of her net, pushes it up the side, and that'll do it for the period. So, good end-to-end play, but still a bit broken play. Both teams unable to take advantage of the power plays. So it'll be interesting to see. Very, very close game the way it is now, getting a little bit physical. But we'll see how conditioning comes into play in the third period. So looking forward to some really good hockey coming up. We'll take a 5-minute break for 10 minutes, and we'll see you in 15. All right, welcome back to Queenstown Ice Arena. About to get ready for the third period of Auckland Steel versus Wakatipu Wild. I want to give a shout out to Wakatipu Wild. They have number 12, Esther Chan. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday. Also shout out to Ricky Lee McLean watching up in Auckland. And also don't forget that 14th to the 21st in Dunedin, the world is coming to Dunedin for the World Championships. And Wakatipu wins the face-off, goes cross ice to Hollier. Hollier's going to take it into the zone, right down the slot. Gets a shot from the side, right in the breadbasket. Gibson swallows it up, and we'll get a stoppage of play. So Wimay against Shields for the face-off. And Wimay wins it back to Nelson. Nelson back to the point to Helmrich. And it's hit out of play. So Nelson, top of the circle, quick shot, deflected in front. And now Shields gathers. Lewis did a good job of keeping the Wild off of it. Now Helmrich has it center ice, pushes it back over to Heel. Heel back to Hollier in her own zone. She'll start forward with a pass. Pass to Nelson. Nice short pass. Nelson has it top of the slot. And Shields kicks it into neutral ice, and she's going to get the puck on a possible breakaway with pursuit. Quick shot goes wide, wraps around the boards, and now Heel has it, unable to take advantage, but Nelson comes through. She's top of the slot against Patron. Quick shot and a good glove save by Gibson. So it's good quick play. 1 minute taken out of the third period. Auckland Steel still leading 1-0. So Patron gathers, circles in her own zone. Outlet pass, hit off the stick of Reeves and pushes into the Wakatipu zone. Heel pulls it in, starts behind her own net, circles back. Outlet pass, too far. This will be icing against the Wild. Oh, yeah. That sound was Patron slipping and hitting the boards fairly hard, but she comes up smiling, and it's going to stay in the game. So back to Patron at the point. Quick shot down low, blocked by Paulsay. And now Hefford has it side of the net, takes it behind that centering pass, beautiful. And McDonald unable to keep hold of it and keep it in the zone, so Patron will start out. Good outlet pass to Hefford. Hefford tries to take it in, push back into neutral, and now Jones will have it in her own zone. Cross ice pass, 6 players again. Auckland having an issue with the bench, and there's going to be a power play for the Wakatipu Wild. Too many players on the ice again. 18-12 left in the third period. Yeah, the last power play that the Wakatipu Wild had, they had a good 30 seconds, and then they played defense for about the last minute and a half. So let's see if they can change that up here. So Gregory did a good job there of gathering up. She pushes it down the ice. Hollier starts behind her own net, looks. Nobody breaking, across ice to Nelson. Pushes it up to Heel, good outlet, has Wimay. They're going to set up the house. Helmrich has a shot, hits a couple players and goes wide. Hollier has it opposite side, takes it, circles back, is going to push it up to the point. Back to Nelson. Nelson does a pass or shot that goes wide. Wimay pushes it up the boards to Helmrich. And then Nelson And now Gregory will skate it out and push it into the zone, but it's on ice. Hollier there. Gregory keeping the pressure on. And can't clear the zone. Jones does a good job. Quick snapshot goes wide. Goes opposite side. Hefford has it. Tries a shot that goes high and wide. Nelson will gather it in the corner and push up to Mills. And a good stick check there, I think, by Thorne. Now Hefford comes away with it. And it's pushed into the zone. And now Heel has it. Thorne again keeping pressure on. Makes her circle back. Good pass there up to Kemp. Kemp has Weeks and Mills. Now back to Weeks, top of the circle. Pushed forward. And knocked out of the zone with 20 seconds left on the power play to Wakatipu. Once again, Steele doing a good job of killing the penalty. So pass went past two players. And now good hustle there once again by Gregory. I think she has to be in line for the player of the game for Auckland so far. Doing a great job. There's Nelson, takes it, top of the slot. Quick shot goes high. Rebound goes out to the right. It's pushed down. This will be icing if Wakatipu can get to it first. Bit of a shoving match between Hollier and Gregory. Now they're having a laugh about it. So it's good to see sportsmanship like that. Awesome. They're going to be playing together on the Ice Ferns next week. So Steele win the face-off, but Caitlin does a good job. Backhand here. Oh, just wide. Hollier picks it up. Dumps it backwards to Heel. Heel in the circle. Quick shot down low, goes wide. Helmrich has it, pushes it forward to Nelson. Nelson side of the circle, gets knocked down, pushed back out. Helmrich does a good job to keep it in, but now Lewis has it in the corner with Wime, Heel and Shields all battling for it. It gets poked out. Wime gets it back to Helmrich at the point. Cross-ice pass to Hollier. Hollier's going to come in, get a backhand shot away, goes wide. Wime picks it up opposite side, pushes it back to Helmrich at the point, pushes it in front. Nelson tries a stick deflection, but it goes wide. She comes away with it, top of the circle. That goes in, hits a shin. Oh, puck bouncing around the front of the goal, and Gibson does a good job to get her glove over it. So 14:57 left in the third period. Auckland Steel still leading 1-0. So Wakatipu to Lawrence. Lawrence to Heel, can't keep control of it. Oh, turnaround by Chan. Beautiful shot. Now centering pass right out in front. Now Patron comes away with it. She says she's had enough. She's going to skate it out, but can't get it out of the zone. Great stick check there by Chan to keep it in the zone. Oh, Auckland doing a good job now splitting the defense. How about Keith? Big heart in that girl. She's a good hustler. So now Wakatipu skated out. Heel has it, takes it to the left side. Right in front. Weak shot on goal, but awkward. Gibson able to block it with her pads and then cover it up with her glove. We'll get a stoppage of play. So Kemp against Hefford for the face-off. Hefford wins. It gets pushed behind the net. Mills comes away with it. Good pressure by Lewis. Mills comes in behind the net. Drops it off to Heel. Heel tries a wraparound. Save pad by Gibson. Now it's in the corner. Weeks has it, pushes it out. Helmrich has it in her own zone. Cross-ice pass. And now Weeks takes it in. And it's pushed out by Kemp back to Helmrich in her own zone. Hefford in pursuit, breaking it up. Too far for Mills. Helmrich pushes it forward. And it's pushed all the way back into the Wakatipu zone. Dropped off for Thurston. Zoe pushes it forward. Oh, opportunity there if Heel could have gotten to it, but Auckland broke it up. Nelson now has it. She's going to take it behind her own net and start out. Shields putting pressure on. Up the boards to Wime. Cross ice pass. Heel's going to race in against Jones. Icing's waved off. Jones didn't agree, but and worked around the wheel, and Wime was unable to get it. So Hollier's going to circle back into her own zone. She's going to come out. Pushes it to Wime. Wime pushes it forward. Good stick check by Shields to break it up. And Shields now has it. Will take it behind her own net. Good pressure by Wime and Nelson. Pushes it up the side to Jones. Jones dumps it. This should be icing. So with 12:24 left in the third period, see if Wakatipu can take advantage of this icing with some tired Steel players out in the ice. Wime versus Shields. Wime wins back to Nelson. Quick shot. Waffle saved by Gibson. And Shields has it now down in the corner. Pushes it up to Gregory, I believe. Gregory pushes it into the zone. Hollier and her are going to battle again in the corner. It gets pushed up to Chan. Chan gets tripped, but it gets into neutral ice. Now you have Wime and Nelson. Cross ice pass. Nelson right down the slot. Backhand pass. A shot goes wide. And Shields comes away with it. She's been on the ice a long time. And now Heel's going to get a shot from the side of the circle. Pushes it behind the net. Chan's going to go back there against Shields. Shields pushes it up. Lawrence will meet Thorne. And now Chan comes away with it. And now Gregory comes in, steals it, puts on the speed, pushes it in. Paulsa can't hold on to it. Gregory gets her own rebound. Centering pass. Broken up by Heel and pushed up the side to Chan. See if McDonald can keep it in. She does. Good job. Gregory, side of the circle. Pad save there. Now Patron, beautiful shot. And Paulsa stabs it out of the air. 11:04 left in the third period. So Wakatipu comes away with it. Mills and McDonald are going to fight for it. Mills comes down ice, gets into the zone on the left side. Good stick check there, I think, by Havecki. Back to the point for Thurston. Thurston to Weeks, top of the slot. She moves in, gets a shot away, right in the breadbasket. Rebound there. Nobody from the Wild's able to poke it in. Thurston pushes it back in, down to Mills in the corner with Patron pressuring her. And Thurston can't keep it in the zone as it skipped over her skating sticks. And now Helmrich has it. Weak pass. And Reeves breaks that up. Now Patron has it. She's going to clear it out. Mills keeps the pressure on. Now Kemp has it. Neutral ice. Back to Thurston. And now Reeves is able to push it forward. Helmrich will gather behind her own net. Start to skate out. Keefe is there. Up the side, centering to Thurston. Now pushed forward to Richmond. Broken up nicely with a stick check. Not sure who that was. But Nelson now clears it out of the zone. Tried to get Gina Davis breaking, but unable to get the pass there. It's pushed into the zone. And now Hollier will start in her own zone with Reeves putting pressure on. Cross ice pass too far. Now Nelson's going to... No, she can't get a hold of it either. Now Hollier's going to skate it down the left side. Pressure on her by Richmond. She goes behind the net. She has Thurston up at the point, or Potter. And Keefe does a good job with a stick check and a hustle. She might get a shot away here. No. Heel does a good job to break it up to Davis. Davis loses control of it. Pushed into neutral zone. Oh, we're going to get a penalty. Or is this icing? No, he's calling icing. Okay. So face off in the Wakatipu end with 9:07 left in the third period. Shields wins the face off. Back to Jones at the point. Low shot goes wide. I believe that was Potter. Back to Havecki. Now Shields going to get at top of the circle. Back to Jones, top of the slot. Broken up nicely by Heel and kicked down by Shields. Wakatipu will do a line change as Shields brings it back behind her own net and starts out. Works around Mills nicely. Gets into the zone, offsides. Yeah, I believe Thorne got in there a little too quick. Shields held it up just slightly and drew the offsides. So the officials this weekend have been Aaron Chisholm and Adam Nagy. They've been doing a good job, especially with only two of them out there. So Patron has it, takes it down the left side. Now takes it behind the red line, down in the corner. Keeps turning around. Now Davidson back to Patron. Patron's side of the circle, pulls back to the point. Good pressure put on by Mills. And now Heel is able to get it down in the corner away from Davidson. Now Davidson gets it back. She's going to push it up to Patron. Patron, quick shot, pad save by Paulsa. And it skips over Patron's stick as Mills is in hot pursuit. And they do a good job to get it into neutral ice there. McDonald comes away with it opposite side. She brings it across the red line. Is going to backhand it into the zone over the stick of Heel. And Heel will gather behind her own net. Tunnicliffe going in. Pushes it up the side to Weeks. Weeks gets past Richmond. Loses her stick. And Richmond comes away with it. And now it's pushed into the zone. Nelson. Not sure what that whistle was. 4. Is he calling offsides? Yep, appears that way. So Helmrich has it, cross ice pass to Hollier. Gathers into her own zone, skates out, gets past Keefe, into the zone, side of the circle. Cuts back, pressure, centering pass. Doesn't get through. Nelson has it. She has Helmrich back at the point. Pushes it back there. Shot away, knocked down by Hefford's shin. And Hollier has it, wraps it around the boards. Lewis will gather it in the opposite corner. Clark putting pressure on. This should be icing. Not, it's been played, so it's not going to be. Auckland takes advantage, does a full line change. And this will be icing against Wakatipu. So 6:46 left. Still a tight game here. Anybody's game. 1-0 Steele leading. So on an icing, the offensive team gets to pick the side. So Hannah Shield has decided to take it on the right side. And Auckland wins the face-off. Back to Jones as a snapshot. Goes wide. Helmrich comes away with it. She's going to skate out up to Mills. Backhand pass. Mills does a good job keeping it in the zone. Now Shields comes through, takes it out. And now Gregory, I believe, is going to take it in. And she comes away with it behind the net to Havecki's side circle. Wow, nice low shot. And then a cross-ice pass. Shields now has it, side of the circle, back to Jones at the point. Jones snapshot down low, pad saved by Paulsa. Havecki, the opposite side, tries to knock it. Mills pushes it out of the zone. Shields will gather, take it into her own zone with Kemp on her. Cross-ice pass to Jones. Jones forward pass just a little bit too far. Heel has it. Loses control of it. Now Shields is going to take it in. Has Gregory and Thorne. Quick shot blocked by Paulsa. Opposite side. comes up. Davis, forward pass to Kemp. Kemp takes it in. Joan pushed her to the boards. And now Gregory's going to come away with it in the opposite direction. Has Tunnicliffe cross the middle. Pass gets broken up with a stick check. And now Heel's going to take it forward. And Patron does a good job to break that up. Got it past her stick, and she just used her skate to break it up nicely. Now Nelson's going to take it in. Keefe does a good job of getting a stick in there. Patron once again breaks it up. And she loses it at the blue line. Nelson's going to start off, hits a skate across from Davidson. So now Wakatipu pushes it up the side. Patron does a stick check, keep it away from Nelson. And now it's pushed up to Mills in neutral ice. She pushes it forward to no one. Patron gets it. Collision there. Puck goes in. McDonald gathers in front of her own net. Good stick check by Mills. Now back to Hollier in neutral ice. Now Nelson will take it up the middle. A weak shot because somebody got a stick on her stick as she was shooting it. But it was able to get on goal, and it's gathered up by Gibson. And we'll get a stoppage of play. 4:26 left in the third period. Steele leads 1-0. So remember, the World is coming to Dunedin, 14th to the 21st for the Women's World Championships. So Hefford has it behind her goal line, wraps it around the wheel. Helmrich's going to go forward to try and keep it in the zone. Hefford comes over, tries to get it out with her stick, is unable to. Good job by Lawrence to keep it in, but it didn't go to anybody. If that's off goal, no, they've waved off icing because the goalie came out of her crease, went to play it. So now Helmrich is taking it up. Good stick check there by Keefe. Man, Mai is doing a great job. So forward pass too far. Lewis will gather in her own zone. Takes it behind her net. Intercepted by Kemp. Kemp circles back, top of the circle. Cross ice pass to Weeks right in front in the slot, and nobody could do it. This one's pushed out. Should be icing. So with the icing, once again, Auckland had players changing. They are definitely tired out there. That was a long shift for them. They thought they were going to be able to get off the ice, but they weren't. Let's see if Wakatipu can take advantage. I don't think Wakatipu's done a line change. So Lawrence, top of the slot. Weak shot goes forward. Kemp gets a nice quick shot. Hollier's going to get one from the circle. Tried to get a deflection in the front with Mills, but Gibson does a good job of stabbing it out of the air and brings a stoppage of play. 3:16 left in the third period. Wakatipu wins the face-off, top of the circle, quick shot. Gets knocked down. Nelson and Shields battle for it in the side of the circle. Back to Heel. Heel backhands it behind the net. Back to Wimay. Wimay fights in the corner. It's got Nelson right in front. Can't get it to her. Shields does a good job of just stripping her of the puck and skates it in the neutral. Helmrich's going to break that up. Overskates it, but now just dumps it. Had a couple players there, but just dumped it. Now Gregory is going to take it down the right side. Circles back, waits for some support. Shot gets knocked down. Helmrich has it, wraps it around the wheel to Wimay. Wimay pushes it out nicely to Nelson. Nelson has Heel and Jones. Back to Nelson. We get a chance. Oh, good save. I think the stick got it and deflected it high. Heel's going to get it top of the circle. Good pressure on by Havecki. Wimay tries a centering pass. Now it gets pushed out. We're down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And Heels now dumps it into the zone. Patron will pick it up behind her own net. Takes a funny bounce. Mills is able to get in there, put pressure. but Patron is able to get out of there. Gregory now and Weeks battling for it. Tunnicliffe takes it into the zone. Stick check there by Heel, but Tunnicliffe gets it back side of the net, gets a shot away. It's kept in the zone, wrapped around the wheel. Heel has it down in the corner with Tunnicliffe going into pressure. Try to clear it out, not far enough. Davison gets it. Tunnicliffe's going to get a... Oh, she almost had an opportunity right in the slot. Hollier comes away with it. She's going to push it up the side. She's going to go try to get past Patron. Good luck there. And Kemp has it in the opposite corner with Richmond putting pressure. Kemp comes away with it. Back to Davis. Top of the slot. Pushes it into the corner. Back to Mills behind the net. Stops. Davison pushes it up. Back to Davis. Davis going to get a shot. Well wide. No deflection able to make. Hollier has it. Now Weeks behind the net. We'll bring it back to Davis. Davis going to get a good shot from the circle. Good screen there. Beautiful opportunity, but a great save once again. I think Gibson has to be in the running for MVP too. So we're in the final minute of play. Just over 54 seconds left in the third period. Remember, any NHL fans or hockey fans around the world, keep your eye out for Sunday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. to see if Ovechkin can get the record. Quick shot here. What do we have? Hand pass. Yeah, see if Ovechkin can break Gretzky's record for the most goals in the history of the NHL. So 50 seconds left. Wakatipu pushes it back, but Jones will gather behind her own net. Pushes it up the side. Wakatipu's pulled their goalie. Hollier has it at the side. It's pushed into neutral ice. Davis has it. She's going to start out, pushes it forward. This will be icing. Holy cow. Bit of ice rust there, I think. 31 seconds left in the game. So Wakatipu tried a line change there with icing. Too many players on the ice. So Hollier will start behind her own net. Doesn't have much time here, so can't play around with it too much. Cross ice pass. Pushed up the side there, broken up nicely. And now Tunnicliffe has it. Blocked by Paulsa. Wimay will pick it up with 13 seconds left. Good outlet pass to Heel. Heel has Nelson in the front. It'll go to Gibson and it'll be stopped. 6 seconds left. Wakatipu's going to call timeout, it looks like. Wakatipu calls a timeout. They'll get 30 seconds. See if the coaches can come up. Unfortunately, C-Mac is away with the Stampede. So they'll be celebrating their win. So here we go. If they can win the face-off and maybe get 1-2 passes and get a quick shot away, they have an opportunity here. It's been a much better game tonight, much closer game. You can see the rust is coming off both teams. And it's good. Wakatipu's pulled their goalie. So Shields will face Wimay. Let's see if they can produce a little magic here. So Wimay pushes it forward. And they took a second off the clock. Gibson pushed it forward, and Gibson was able to get her glove over it. Another stoppage. We'll do it again. Wakatipu wins it. Centering pass. Nobody there. Jones is going to get an opportunity here. And that'll do it. Wow, congratulations, Auckland Steel. Very tight game. Good effort. Once again, have to big shout out to Zadia Paulsa. She plays for the Auckland Steel, but they graciously, and she was willing to play for the Wakatipu Wild, as they don't have a goaltender at the moment, and so that made this weekend possible. So yeah, just can't say thank you enough. And of course, we look forward to seeing many of you down at the World Championships in Dunedin. Make sure you book your tickets. And we're going to see some great hockey in the next couple of weeks. So it starts on the 14th. The Ice Ferns are going to have a training camp coming up for the week before. So a lot of these players are going to be teammates in another couple days. I'd be guessing it'd have to be Gregory or Gibson. Probably Gibson for the Steel. And then for the, I'm not sure who for the Wild. Adam Nagy's going to be announcing it now, the official. Shout out to Nate, thank you. Yeah, Gibson. Yeah, she did a great job in goal. Very few rebounds. Excellent glove save. And Gabby Mills wins Player of the Game, #2 for the Wild. All right, so that brings it to an end here. And now we're going to transition from individual teams to the national team. So New Zealand Ice Ferns, we look forward to talking to you on the air, starting on the 14th of April, live from Dunedin, as the Ice Ferns will take on Ukraine, and then the next day they will take on Belgium. So I'll see you at those games. Thank you for watching. Signing off from Queenstown Ice Arena. Good night.